Kia ora, my name's Vin from Janky Gamesmiths, and I'm going to quickly run you through the examples that come along with the Janky Recycler package. So you'll find the examples underneath Janky, Janky Recycler, and examples. And the core scene-based examples are Industrial Jank and Rocky Jank. So I've loaded up a clean project, imported them in, or imported the Janky Recycler package in and opened up the industrial scene, which you're seeing here. You might be familiar with this already from the asset store page, but yeah, what you're looking at here is just a quick little industrial scene that I mocked up. All of the models are UV mapped to an underlying texture. Pretty simple. At the moment, the environment's really clean. It's not very well put together. You can see that there's like some seams on stuff, but this is really just a demonstration. These 3D models aren't designed to be used in your game. The package is more about the shader. So yeah, so we've got a clean scene here. Let's say I've made this, but I've decided that actually the world that this should exist inside of, this little scene should exist inside of, is a little bit more post-apocalyptic. It's a little bit too clean at the moment, and I want to get a different vibe out of this set of 3D models. So I'll take you across to the next example there. Which is inside the same scene, and I'll just move the camera so you get that position as well in the viewport below. Awesome. So what we've got going on here is we're using predominantly coverage. So the coverage settings from Janky Recycler to project down onto the models this mossy texture, and then with using a little bit of a fall-off gradient, which you'll find within the shader itself, I'm able to continue that moss down around the corners of the 3D model, and then also using displacement maps, the displacement map from the underlying texture or the original texture of the 3D model. I can bring out different levels of that moss across the scene and across the model. Additionally, there's underlying texture arrays that you can apply within the shader that allow you to create these worn effects or greater variation across your 3D models. So Recycler is really built to leverage 3D models that you already have in your asset database and just breathe a little bit of new life into them. It's specifically powerful when using or when working with static models. So you can create both that wear and tear and greater uniformity across a scene, as you can see here, while also applying extra levels of detail, sub-pixel detail, so you can maybe, if you really wanted to, zoom in further and you don't get as much pixelation on your 3D models. So yeah, so that's the mossy scene, and then we also have something that's a little bit more deserty or sandy. So if you could imagine more of a wasteland, sandy wasteland style environment, you could literally just drop this into it and you'd have a really simple, easy prop that could blend in with whatever you've got going on. Additionally, the mapping for the shader, in this example at least, is set up to be, let's get the parent of that, is set up to be using the world space coordinates rather than local space coordinates. You can, of course, inside the shader, set it to local space if you want models to move within your scene and to keep their retexturing. But just for this example, I'm using world space. And what you can see in this is as I move it around, some of those wear and tear details change and shift, and also the sand detail remains consistently projected across the models. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the industrial scene. If I jump down to the rocky scene, I don't want to save that, nope. This is somewhat similar in the sense of all of the models are being combined together. It's one single model that's leveraging different materials from within the different materials using the Janky Recycler shader. So one of the features that are in the shader is the ability to apply emissive textures across your models. Just felt like that was something that was necessary, so included it in. But I think the main showpiece of this is these rocks are all exactly the same model, but using the Janky Recycler, I can get a sense of blending throughout the terrain. Things seem to be less uniform, even though it's the same topography, model topography. And then also because it's using those world space coordinates again, if I move it around, you'll see that the moss coverage shifts and changes, and you get quite a nice, or the ability to create very rapidly new terrain without that repetition within the environment. So yeah, there's that. And there's also another one I've chucked together. Maybe I'll bring the camera with me this time as well. So this is more just kind of like a canyon environment. Nothing overly special about it. It's just providing a different perspective, I guess, and getting up close to those textures. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the examples. They're nice and simple. And then additionally with that, I have all of the scriptable objects of the different kinds that come within the recycler system. There for you to reference and be able to look through the basic setup for these 3D models, and then also the arrays that are created and used to then be mapped against these 3D models. And yeah, I believe that's everything. So that's it for the examples. In future videos, I'll go through a full setup of a 3D model within the system, and what you might expect on the other side of incorporating this shader and system into your workflow. Awesome.